So let's get this show on the road. Welcome once again to our very loyal listeners who are joining us for session 12 of Vaesen Behind the Masks. Session 11 was interesting. You came across a possible ally in the fair city of Venice. Maybe. Or maybe she was just another little red herring I seem to keep putting in front of you. What else happened last session? I don't know. You guys were the heroine of a drowning victim. You managed to retrieve someone from drowning in one of the canals just in the nick of time. And your studious research, you've kind of starting to narrow things down a little bit. You have got a few options. So plenty to work on this session, I think. Anyway, we welcome once again Sharon, Blake, and Jim. And allez, let's go. We'll start from when Ana La Rosa leaves, and you've had a conversation about your discoveries regarding the glittering blue algae and your attempts to search for the entity that's been causing the deaths. And Dr. Bennett was making some connections, and so was Severino, in terms of causality between the algae and your mysterious little Vaesen. So that is kind of where we're at the moment. So the whole day is before you, lady and gentlemen. What would you like to do?
First thing, Agatha is going to make a nuisance of herself at the police station, asking about the welfare of those poor young ladies who were in such distress the previous evening.
Agatha's very good at making a nuisance of herself.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Okay, we can definitely do that.
And then she is going to visit the young man's mother, because she was serious about leaving. It is very sad. He does need a donation.
Yeah.
She's not going to lie to them.
Yeah. We shall see. The day is young after all.
Yes.
All right. Blake, what would Severino want to do?
I think he's going to look along the canals for the algae, because the good doctor was kind enough to show us some pictures with descriptions and stuff. So he's going to go algae hunting, which is a sentence I've never said before.
Okay. Jim?
I think Dr. Bennett wants to sort of take the advice of Anna, who suggested, being cautious and thoroughly researching. And so I'm wondering if I can sort of continue my research now, specifically looking for a correlation potentially between Vaesen with red hair and or this algae generation. So he might spend some time in the library.
Okay. We can definitely roll with that. All right. Miss Hartwell, or Ms., should I say. Let's start with you, my dear.
Okay, so she would like to go talk to the constabulary.
The Carabinieri, yes.
Yes. The whole point, though, is to actually, to inquire after the welfare of the young ladies and kind of to work out whether they've been held and get in to speak to them and start asking them, did you see anything weirdly glowing? What else did you see? Did you feel like you were being pulled, or, kind of grill the young lady about exactly kind of what happened, to see if there's anything that she remembers or...
Exactly. Okay. Okay. So we pick up with you heading purposefully towards the main station of the Carabinieri. Now, one thing interesting about the Carabinieri, they're actually a military force, so expect to be surrounded by a lot of soldiers in dashing uniforms and being very precise and meticulous and, yeah, professional soldiers.
Yes, well, she is a professional governess, so she can take on anything.
Yeah. Did you bring the wooden spoon?
Mm.
All right.
She does have an umbrella with her because she is English.
Of course. That makes perfect sense. Yep. Okay. We can do that. So you head down to the barracks and the office around that. And yes, it's a little hub of activity. You see groups of carabinieri coming in and going out. You're going to loiter around the outside, or you just
I
going
am
to?
just going to walk up to one of them and go, "Young man."
He turns around, stiffens up in a nice formal attention stance. Si, signora, may I help you?
Would you be so kind to direct me towards your commanding officer?
He kind of, the commanding officer, signora.
The man in charge.
How about my sergeant?
That will do for a start.
You are not going to set the colonel straight up, baby. and signora, can I inquire what this is about?
You may not.
I don't know if I should make you roll, but there's no bluff. All right. Very well, Senora. Come with me. And you kind of get the expression that he's actually kind of looking forward to this, because this is something very weird and very novel. Oh, he wants to be a fly on the wall of this conversation. Follow me. And he walks you into the barracks, into the main office area, and walks up to a rather large desk, which is littered with papers, and there's a senior ranked military official standing behind the counter, and your escort comes up into a very snappy salute and talks in rapid fire Italian. Now, your Italian has improved significantly, but he's talking really quickly, and it's a bit of a struggle for you. And on top of that, he's using military terminology. So again, it's just another layer of difficulty, but you can follow along well enough. Something like, "I'm sorry, sir, this lady insisted on speaking with you. I don't know what it's about. She refuses to tell me, but she insisted on seeing you." Good luck.
And when she's doing that, when he's talking rapidly, she's going to stamp her umbrella twice on the floor and go, "That's enough, young man. You can return to your post."
They both look at you going, "What the?" Well, that's what's going on in their brains. They just look at you with the steely gaze. And, "Okay, Senora, how can I be of assistance to you?" And he's a little bit cold and standoffish. You haven't certainly won any friends by coming in here like a bull at a gate.
She does not intend to. She is at her most imperious. These are naughty young children who need a firm hand, and she will get what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
Now, young man, I am not sure that you will be able to assist me, and you may have to find someone else. I wish to inquire as to the welfare of the young ladies that we assisted to pull from the canal last night. Well,
So
hurry up.
So you rescued the lady. How did you happen to be in the area at the time? I mean, it was 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, and when another young lady comes screaming to your front door saying that her friend is at grave peril, one's household is roused, are they not?
Yes, I imagine they would be. But they
Well,
usually don't come in the next day demanding information about the events that occurred the previous night.
I have demanded no information about the events that occurred. I have simply asked as to the welfare of the young lady. One has a vested interest, after all.
Well, since you put it so succinctly, Signora, the woman that was pulled from the canal, she's currently at the hospital. And her companion has been released. We have no further interest in her.
Thank you, young man. I expect that you have ascertained whether she will make a full recovery or not.
I don't know. I am not a doctor. What would I know?
Yes. And that would be, young man, why you are still a sergeant. Good day to you.
Oh, burn!
Hey, don't play with the army brat, okay?
I'm assuming you turn around in a swish of skirts and
Yep.
walk
Swishy
out with your
skirts.
bustle swaying from side to side.
Yes, and the umbrella is tapping slightly in that very annoying manner.
Very nice. Very nicely played, man. No friends gained, but well played. Okay, so now that you've insulted the local area sergeant, what are you doing now?
Heading to the hospital.
The hospital. Yeah, easy.
Via a street vendor where she will buy some oranges.
Yes, you are able to find your oranges. They're a bit pricey, but you know, they're there.
It does not matter, they are a bribe after all.
Oh, well, as long as they call it exactly what they are, sure. So, yes, you have your little basket of beautiful, if slightly a week or two old, oranges.
And she will approach the hospital, but her manner changes slightly. She's no longer the imperious. She is a very kind, pious, charitable, middle-aged lady. Very concerned about the welfare of that poor young woman and wanting to offer her whatever maternal comforts she can, because obviously the poor child is dearly in need of a kindly aunt.
Wow, I love the Jekyll and Hyde. So you come up to the front counter of the Ospedale, and there's this middle-aged curmudgeon standing behind the counter. Her hair's all done up in a coif. She's got the nurse's frill pinned to her hair. She's wearing a simple long gown with an apron pinned over it. She is very much a nurse. She's, in fact, senior nurse. And she looks at you with your little basket of oranges. Can I help you, Senora?
Oh, yes, I would very much like to inquire after the health of one of your patients and perhaps bring them a small token to help them feel a little bit better.
Senora, it's a bit early for visiting hours, isn't it?
Oh, wasn't. I admit I did not think of that. I was just very concerned with the young lady. We assisted her last night, and I was just very concerned about her welfare. Not, I admit, had any sleep, and have come here very quickly this morning as soon as possible.
Give me manipulate, please. Bada bing, bada boom, and we get 2 successes. Yes, gloat with this one, Sharon. You get this one. So the nurse looks at you and looks at the oranges. Very.
Oh, would you like one? I mean, you must very rarely get a break.
Thank you, Senora. But no, these are obviously for your person that you helped. Did you happen to get her name?
Oh, I'm afraid I did not, but she was a young lady, and she was pulled out of the canal.
That
I'm,
one.
sh-
Ah,
I'm sure you
yes.
cannot have that many young ladies pulled out of the canal.
No, not at all. Let me see if she's awake. Just if you'd like to take a seat, Senora.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You are so kind to. I have been so worried.
The matron turns around and waves at another young nurse down, quickly confers, and the young nurse scoots off. And a couple minutes later, she comes back and whispers something to the matron. And the matron steps up towards you, and it looks like the young lady is awake. She sadly is not very well, so Angelina here will take you to see her, but you only have a few moments.
That's fine. I just do wish to see for myself how the young girl fares. I mean, you must understand that, of course.
And you are just all sweetness and rainbows and puppies, and you've gone through the matron's demeanor. And she says, of course, Senora, I certainly understand. Angelina will bring you down there. Just keep your visit quick.
Oh, I shall. Thank you.
And the young nurse will escort you through a few corridors and to this ward. And it is a ward. It's a female ward. It's got about 20 beds in there. Privacy is non-existent. And you find Lucia sitting in a bed, and she's got blankets on top of her covering her, and she looks quite pale and wan, and she's coughing every now and then, and you see from her skin that she's looking a bit flushed, maybe a little bit feverish.
Now, Lucia, dear, how are you feeling? Oh, that is a silly question. Now, when you are better, or at least well enough to be released, you must come to the villa. I am sure you will not be well enough for...
I remember you. You helped me this morning. Thank you, Senora. You, and there was another man, another two men. It's all a bit of a haze.
Yes. Well, such shock.
Yes, but thank you for saving my life.
It is what any good Samaritan would do, dear. Now, I do not want to tie you, but how did you end up in the water, my dear?
I don't quite understand it myself. And she starts coughing rather violently. And when she can finally stop and
Water.
yeah,
Here, dear.
thank you, Senora. And when she finally stops to catch her breath, she haltingly tells you what happened. I was out working. And she kind of tiptoes around the sensitive topic.
Yeah, just one must always do what one can to keep one's body and soul alive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lucia's, I was working in the area and I heard the sound of a woman crying. So I went to investigate, and it was really weird. It was coming from the water. So I went to the edge of the canal and looked in, and there was a woman there crying, surrounded by blue. And that was all I could see. And it's very weird.
Was
she called.
glowing?
See? See? And I couldn't step away. I couldn't pull back. And she reached up for me. And then the next thing, I was in the water, drowning. And if you hadn't come, I fear she would have succeeded.
So she was trying to pull you down when we were there as well, my dear.
Yes.
Seems that you were very fortunate for your good friend, who had the nous to run and find assistance instead of having you both pulled into the water.
Yes.
Now you rest, dear, and you get better. And when you are discharged, you come to the villa.
I know the villa. Thank you.
Now, you rest. Thank you, young lady. She will stand up and leave because.
Are you going to give her the orange?
Yeah, that's my question.
I've left them there. I have left the
You
the
didn't
oranges
earn
there.
these oranges. I'm taking them back with me.
No, cool. She'll be grateful and give you a weak wave goodbye. And you'll be escorted out.
So we have confirmed that the glowing and the weeping woman and the weeping red-headed woman.
How many fingers did she have?
Damn, I knew I missed something. Were they webbed?
Nice.
Yeah, so next is just a quick visit to, which we don't need to go into, it's just to the gondolier's mother to say I am sorry that our good friend the doctor was not able to assist more quickly and give a few coins, notes, whatever the denomination is, in order to assist with her expenses, such as they are. No longer having a strong, if apparently whoring son.
Oh my gosh, Sharon, you're on fire today. She's very grateful for the money and for you coming past and paying your respects. And it's one of those things that actually only enhances your reputation. So yeah, she's just very grateful that you've taken the time out of your very busy schedule, Senora, because you are a socialite. We are far beneath your interest or your generosity, but we thank you. Yeah. So she'll gratefully take the money and you're good to go. All right, Blake. Algae hunting. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. You're just going to go walking around?
Yeah, looking along the canals, and I look for like steps and bushes and stuff along the edge of the canal, so things that something might catch on if it was moving slowly or it's a little bit out of the current sort of thing. Wondering if more likely to find it growing there or caught there.
There's usually under the bridges, there'll be a bit of a slow point for water because the pylons or the bridge structure slows it down. Where you have little tiny canals coming out into bigger canals, you get another slow point.
Yep.
So you can spend several hours just trolling around, checking that out. Can you please give me a vigilance roll?
Vigilance? Okay. I'm sure this will go no problems. 1 success. Ta-da! I think that's my highest roll yet.
But you know what? That's all you need. So as you're walking around the canals, you know, you got your hat down, you got your coat on. It's getting cold, so you blend in quite well. You're not wearing clothes that are out of
Yeah, he doesn't
norm.
dress up.
No, he doesn't. He just blend in with everyone else. And as you're walking around, you see small kids just laughing and dancing around in the street, singing common rhymes and songs as they're playing and skipping rope and doing things that kids do. And as you're walking around, you listen with half an ear, as you do. But then you suddenly hear some words in a song that grabs your full attention, and you stop and you listen. And you watch as this young woman is singing a song to several kids as she's...
You red hair?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. I should check.
As she's hanging up the washing and she's got kids playing around her. Now, I am not going to sing because that would be a crime against humanity. What I will do is I will say what she's singing. So, across the Calle and the squares of Venice ran the moon, a glowing lantern, shining like silver slivers, as she wanders eternally the waters in an endless pattern. Her hands are marked with tears, and her gown a ghostly white, when the north wind sways the flowers on the night of the full moon. Sorrowfully weeping, she lurks amongst the polished stones, lost Elena, lost and ever forlorn, betrayed cruelly by a husband she loved so, unforgiven, she's not even a shadow. She mourns a life tragically cut short by a silvered sword. If we don't have rue and sage, we will hear her cry, lulling those who hear her sorrow. She will beguile you from the shadows. As she takes you into her embrace, choking upon words of fear, you can only shed a final tear, your eyes fixed in her loving gaze. As Elena sinks into the water, strokes your hair and coos in your ear with unearthly power, and to ancient arms you will sink into the final mother, for Elena has found once again her love in this heavenly hour.
Damn it. It was the wrong one.
Okay. Where's a bit about sage? Rue. What's rue?
It is a herb.
Oh, okay. I've only ever heard like rue the day. Say, okay, cool. That's useful. That's not good. If that's relevant to our case, that's a bunch of useful information. If not, it's a massive red herring. Okay. So I'll ask this lady, you know, who taught you this song? Where did you hear this song from?
It's a traditional song. This song's been sung in years, hundreds of years.
And
it would be like our version of Scarborough Fair. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's been around forever.
Do you know if it was like a true story or it was just something someone made up because I had an idea and put it to a pattern, or?
I don't. This is just what my nonna taught me.
Okay.
But it's possible. There is lots of legends, I guess. This could maybe relate to something that happened, but Signora, I don't know.
I think I'll sort of, because I've got paper and pencil on me, so I'll kind of go over some key detail, like everything with a proper noun, and just say, so this, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then she'll probably correct me, and then I'll just make sure I've got as much as I can written down, and then I'll thank you for your time and the lovely song.
Creo, you're very welcome, Signora. Are you a songwriter by chance?
I'm a writer. I'm not a songwriter, but I do enjoy, nice music when I hear it.
Grazie mille.
Now they said beguile you from the shadows, so I'm going to look for a place that's not going to get a lot of sunlight and look for algae there.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe tall buildings around it, so they might only get 10 till 2 sunlight sort of thing.
Yep. All right. Well, give me an observation roll. Let's see how well you go.
1. I'm going to push it. I'm sick of only piss weak success. Come on. Oh, wow. 2. Dun, dun, dun.
You got 2 successes. Sure. So you continue your walking around, and is there algae under some bridges and where you get tall buildings? Yes, there is. You see little strands of algae around the gondola poles in some areas where it's nice and shady. You see them bunched up under the bridges, but it's what you would expect.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, were any of those places close to where the attack and the murder happened?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there are bridges everywhere. There are gondola poles everywhere. There's tall buildings obscuring. Unfortunately, it was a bloody good roll, but it's not there to be found.
Yeah. Okay, that's all right. Food for thought.
Mm-hmm.
He's quite excited. He keeps pulling out the notes and looking at it. No, I'm going back to the villa. This is something. This could be something really good. He's gonna jog back because he's like, yeah.
Yeah, cool. We can definitely do that. So, while Severino is doing his thing, Dr. Bennett, talk to me.
Yeah. I can't remember. Did I mention last week that me and Severino can telepathically communicate from across Venice? Did that come up, or did I forget to mention?
Let me check my sieve of a memory.
I don't want to do anything I would do not knowing that information. All right, let's not metagame for a second here. Yeah, I said I wanted to investigate the red-haired Vaesen. I actually had a thought of something stupid enough that Dr. Bennett would do, which is find Artemisia.
Yeah.
And say, excuse me, Lady Artemisia, and I hope this doesn't come out as rude, but you're not a human of a human biology.
You're not a real girl.
I'm not quite familiar on the correct vernacular here.
Artemisia looks at you and she does laugh because it's sweet. It's just like I am part Vaesen. I'm half Vaesen, half human.
Right. This may not be quite relevant then, but I just couldn't help but notice that you have quite striking red hair, and was wondering if you were familiar of any other non-human biology creatures that may share that particular trait.
It's not that simple, I'm afraid.
I think this is definitely the intended route to find out this information, is to ask a random redhead if they know.
Yeah, because that's perfectly okay. Absolutely.
Hey, Artemisia, you're female. Do you know any other females?
Yes, pretty much. Artemisia gives you a bit of a raised eyebrows. Do you actually know what I am?
I'll assume he doesn't, because I don't. So I'll say no, not scientifically.
Scientifically, okay.
I don't know the Latin name.
I'm half a Longana. I am half an aquatic nymph.
Oh.
And half human. Do we all have red hair? No. Some of us have black hair, some of us have blonde hair, some of us have red hair, some of us have brown hair. That varies as much as it does amongst pure humans. If you're asking if any Vaesen I know of purely have red hair, the answer is no.
Okay.
But
That's just the entire podcast.
that's right. But what is it you are looking for, Dr. Bennett? Maybe I can be of some assistance.
Oh, well, yes, we've just been tracking this particularly slippery and dangerous Vaesen that seems to have a modus operandi of drowning people in the canals. And we have a witness who says that they saw the bioluminescent algae glow blue when this happened, and she claims to have seen a lady with red hair drowning, but when we rescued her, there was no evidence that there was anyone else in the water.
Have you perhaps considered that this Vaesen isn't a creature, not like you and I? A Vaesen extend beyond physical things. Could this be something else? A spirit, perhaps, or a ghost?
Right, and he pulls out his notebook and he's like, well, my first round of research I did come across a few different stories surrounding deaths that maybe were, could have caused a spirit. And I might just I might sit her down next to me and take her through my notes and be like, see, this one was fascinating because it, blah, blah, blah. And then this one doesn't make sense, doesn't seem to fit the pattern because it says here that, she'll, there'll be a coffin with 4 candles and we've had no sightings of that. And I'll just go through the stories.
Josepina
Yeah,
Cardamado.
yes. Are you aware of that story?
What a nymph.
Fascinating. Yeah, he's jotting that down.
So that means there must be 2. Your Legend of Tosca and the Legend of Fosco Loredan and his wife Elena Grimani. Yes?
Yes, that's what I've got here.
Doctor, you must go. I know where you can find out. Go to the Palace of the Doge. Have a look at the pictures on the walls. And you might be able to perhaps see someone who matches what you expect.
Oh, that's fantastic. That is amazing, Artemisia. Thank you, and apologies for the moronic line of questioning that got us here. But when I was studying, it was always ask any question, no matter how dumb it may seem, and I'm sure that seemed extremely foolish.
No, you're learning. It's perfectly fine, and I don't take any offense. You have a good heart, Dr. Bennett.
Oh, I'm not so sure. Thank you. And then he's like, I must. Yes. How far? Where is the palace?
The Palace of the Doge, it's just at San Marcos Square, and you know where San Marcos Square is, the biggest plaza of the whole of the city. So you will find it. You know exactly where it is.
Right. Excellent. Yeah, I think I will head off and I will quickly scribble a note to say that's where I'm heading. Palace of the Doge, investigating. I think I will put on the note. Was it Fosco, Loredan, and Elena Grimani? I'll put that down, that I'm going there to investigate them.
Yep.
And then grab my doctor's bag, my coat, and I'm off.
You're off. Sure, you go. Striding off into the sunset. Well, not quite sunset.
Yeah. I've never seen from again.
No, that's all fine. Oh, speaking of, while you are striding through the streets of Venice like a man on a mission, can you please give me a vigilance roll? But I'm going to penalize you by 1 dice because you are focused. And I know that's not strictly against the rule set, but... No successes. No, that's okay. So you are walking down the streets of Venice. You are singularly focused on trying to figure out, is this Fosco and Elena or is this Tosca? Like, you have got a burning red hot lead in your mind. So you are head down, your coattails are flapping as you are a man on a mission. And you don't see a shadow passing nearby. And maybe trailing you.
Because there's not one there.
That's right. That's exactly right.
I did mention that I've got my sage and rue that I just carry around with me at all times. Good for the spirit.
Sure. Okay. So let us go back to Miss Agatha. What would you like to do now?
She will head back to the villa because she is going to tell the doctor, or is aiming to tell the doctor, that he was right and there was some strange glowing algae and the young woman was entranced, but there also seems to have been a young woman like crying, and that is what attracted her to get mesmerized by the glowing light in the first place.
Yeah, see, that's the bit that Bennett is missing, that both Agatha and Severino now know, is that there's a certain like mesmerizing portion to this that he is completely unaware about. He's like, I just won't go in the water. What are you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just don't go in the water.
Duh.
Easy peasy.
Yep. So, Agatha, you come back to the villa. You open the door. You sweep in. Severino, you're heading straight back to the villa too with a bit of haste.
Oh, yep. Burst in the door. I've got something. And he's clutching these notes in his hand. Anyone? Damn it.
There's nothing worse when you got the major key of the mystery and there's no one to share it with.
Well,
No.
possibly.
Agatha's there. And so is Artemis and Vittorio. So when you come in making your cacophony, I'm sure everyone kind of pokes their head out. Severino, you okay?
Yeah. A lady was singing a song about blah, 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 blah. And I'll start listing the nouns in order. And I think that's what this is about.
Ah. Oh, yes.
Was it a full moon last night? I can't say I paid any attention.
That's a memory roll.
I'm pretty sure it was. When you said I was going across the lake, I'm pretty...
Victoria goes, yes, it was a full moon. And there's the last full moon tonight.
Sage and Rue. What are they?
Salvia and Ruta. Herbs? In the garden.
There are some in the kitchen garden.
I'm not a cook. I don't know.
That much is obvious.
It was in the song. It
was in the song. It must be true.
Yeah. There's something about in the polished stones. So is there like a nice crypt or palace or something near the canals that this Elena might be sort of hovering around? I don't know. Can we pull out some maps of the area of the city?
Of course. Victoria, with his cane, kind of hobbles over to the library and he will retrieve for you a rather large and beautiful map and lay it down on the ground.
So while the map is being pulled out and Severino's waving around this this piece of paper. Agatha would like to take it from him and read it, just so she can pull out everything.
Yeah.
So you know, if this folktale, this song is correct, then she will appear on a full moon where the wind is from the north.
Yeah.
And if we don't have ruined sage, we will hear her cry. I think perhaps one of us may have to go unprotected in order to spot the maiden.
I'll do it. Doctor was a bit confused by some ladies recently, so I think it should be me.
Artemisia. Yeah, you know, I also experienced some of that.
Well, yes, the doctor does seem a little easily flustered by the...
But you know, I trust you have the fortitude that if anything happens to me, for example, I'm beguiled or something, you can just knock me out. I trust you to do that.
That does seem to be... Well, I did go and speak to the young lady who we pulled from the canal last night, and she did say that, as well as hearing the young woman crying,
Right.
when she looked down, there was a glow. So the doctor was right about the algae, or at least about the glow being mesmerizing. And
So like, what do you call it? Hypnotism.
yes,
Okay.
the young lady found herself unable to look away, and once
All right.
finding herself in the water.
Okay, well, I'll go unprotected, and if you need to knock me out, knock me out. I trust you to do that. It's fine.
I do hope, young man, that is not necessary.
Well, so do I, obviously, but you know, we've got to stop this happening.
Artemisia kind of raises a hand.
Oh, please.
Sevenino, if this is possibly a ghost of some sort or a spirit of some sort, how do you actually kill it?
The song mentioned a silver sword, so maybe I have to stab it again with the same sort of weapon, and that'll shock it back to resting. I don't know. That's a good question. That's my theory at the minute.
Perhaps we need not be so brutal. The young lady requires rest.
Well, it's a gown made of tears, so obviously they're distressed, and we could try talking to it first. Yeah, it says endless pattern, so that's the full moon thing. Every full moon, she's coming back.
She has been somewhat hard done by in life, if this tale is true.
Yeah.
Perhaps there is an alternative means other than violence to break her cycle.
Well, that would be good. I mean, poor thing. Men are awful. They really are.
Yeah, so Agatha is going to go to the library, and she is going to try and find anything on what is it? Unfinished business of ghosts. And concluding unfinished business of ghosts.
I will get a learning roll from you, but first, Jim.
Cut to Bennett strolling next to the waterside. My, that moon looks beautiful. What time is Bennett currently?
No, it's not quite night. Let's just say we're into late afternoon by now.
Yeah.
You guys have had revelation after revelation after revelation, so it's been one of those days. So you walk up to the Doge's palace, and you've been here before, you've seen it before, and it's this beautiful structure of white marble with this staircase leading up to the second story, and it's The ceilings are just beautifully painted and gilded in gold, and it's just ostentatious little place. And it's being used at the moment for government offices. So yes, you walk in there and there's plenty of people around that's working in their little, suits and looking very industrious.
Does it seem like a place that is like has public access to walk around, or is it like
A little bit, but not hugely so.
okay. Do I see anything immediately that would, pictures on the wall, like anything that
There are pictures on the wall, and as you flick through them, none match. And you look at the plaques, and none of the names match up. But you know that there are like big halls in here as well. You've got the council rooms, you've got meeting rooms. They would all have pictures and stuff. So you might have to do some sweet talking.
Yeah, I think it's not gonna be Bennett's strong point.
It never is. But you know what? I'll give you a week to figure it out, because it's
Alright,
now the end of the session. So we'll pick this up, and yeah, the end is nigh, it looks like. So someone's end is nigh.
Yeah, exactly. Someone's end is nigh.
So thank you to our listeners. Yeah, stick around. Things are getting interesting, and we'll see you next week. Ciao.